Hello live wires, Heather Boyd Wire here, and welcome to my channel for all kinds of wire art and jewelry making tutorials and live streams. Today I'm doing a follow-up to the live stream where I made the name Debbie with wire and beads. So what you're going to need for the project are your tools. I have round pliers, flat pliers, bail making pliers, my cutters. I have 20 gauge wire, I have the artistic wire, this is a gold color, and this is the tin copper. I like to use this one for my samples, and I have a variety of beads, 8mm, 6mm, and 4mm. These are my favorite miracle beads. I also have the cat's eye beads, and I have hematite beads, love those ones, and a variety of glass and faceted beads. So you could do a series of the beaded letters like I did with the name Debbie. It is a little bit hard to read, but keep in mind this is a project which is a work in progress. So I'll be improving these designs as I go. I also have a tutorial on where I make wire letter pendants where you just add a bead to the top. So I'll link up that tutorial as well. So let's just start with the A. We're going to stick the wire right in the bead, and then I'm just going to bend this just to the left to hold it in place. And then we want to bring the wire around, and we want to surround the bead with the wire. So we're just going to bring it all the way around and then around to the back here. And then we want to bring this wire up behind, and then we're just going to take our round pliers to help it out and bend that to the front. So we'll see, we're going to bend it to the front there. And I will link up a little template to show you sort of more of a diagram of how I do these. And like I said, keep in mind this is just a work in progress. So there's the A, and now to do the B, we're just going to take the bail pliers or some larger round pliers, bring this one up, just use the round part of the pliers at the top, bring this one around. So this is sort of the beginning parts of the B. So from there, we just want to bend this over. So we want the bead to sit in the middle there. So about like at the radius of the bead, we're just going to bend it up. And then I'll take another miracle bead, 8mm, put it on there. So it's going to sit like that. And then we're just going to bring this one around to the front, just around here, and then around to the back. Just bring it all the way around to the back. So there we have an A and a B. Now the C is going to be a challenge because it might not look much like a C. So I think I'm just going to start by sticking the bead on there and then figuring it out from there. So we're going to bend this up at a right angle. We'll stick another 8mm bead on there. And then what I'm going to do is I'm actually just going to bring this one down. It's going to almost look like a moon. So we're going to bring this one down, pull it tight, bring this one down around this way, and then we're just going to bend it back up on itself. So just take your pliers, bring it up. So this is how it looks from the top. Just bring it around here, hold it in place, and just run it around the bead. So it looks pretty good. It's not super smooth. Use a soft wire, otherwise you're going to be struggling with this. So that would look like the C. You could just pull it out a little bit, bend it down and out that way, and then push it up here, and that would look like your C. So here's some more 20 gauge wire in the gold color, and I'm just going to stick another 8mm bead. This is a cat's eye bead, and we want to bend that one to the left, and then we're going to start forming for the D. So we're going to bring this one around to the back, around to the back, around, and then all the way around, because we want the whole bead to be covered with wire, and then this one straight up. This is the opposite of the B, and then we're just going to take our pliers, the round pliers or your bail making pliers, and then just bring that one around. So that looks like a D. And then we're just going to bring this one this way, bring this one straight up. And then we want to do the E. So I'm just going to bend this one at a bit of an angle. I'm going to take a 6mm cat's eye bead instead of the 8mm. We're going to stick it on there. And then we're going to bend this wire to the front. So this bead won't be completely surrounded, otherwise it's not going to look much like an E. So we're just going to bend it around like that. And then we're going to get our round pliers and just form this around a little bit to start to look like an E. It's very stylized. And then what we can do is just bend this down just to define the end of the E a little bit. Then we're going to bring it up here to do the F. So I'm not sure there's much we can do with the F to add a bead. We can maybe try to add it in the base. So let's just take this, form this part around here, put the 4mm bead there just to try something different. And then we're just going to take this, hold it in place, and bring this one up. I don't mind that. I'm going to leave it like that. And then bring that one across. And we're going to make the G. So let's just bring this one up, kind of like we did the A. We're going to bring it straight up. We'll put the 8mm bead on there. I'm going to bring this around to the front and then around to the back. And then like the A, we're just going to bring this one straight down, and then we're going to form the tail of the G. My wire's a little short, but you'll get the idea. So it's just going to go straight up like that and bend it that way, and that'll be the G. So the H we could try to do like the C, where you put a bead and just put the hump around the bead, but I think I'm going to try it more like the F, where we just stick a little bead in there. So we're just going to bend that one up. Then I'm just going to bend this a little bit around to the side here. And then I'm going to take a 4mm miracle bead, and then we're just going to hold this in place and bring this down towards the front. So we're just going to hold it so it doesn't slip down, bend that one down so it just ends up being in the little hoop a little bit. And then we're just going to bend that one up, either with your fingernail or with your round pliers. Just give it a little squish. And for this part, you can use the end of a pen or a Sharpie and just bring this one around here just to start the loop. If it's too wide, you can get your looping pliers or some round pliers and just stick it in the size that you want. If it's too big, just go to the smaller one, bring it in there. So that looks like the H. And then we'll just use these pliers again to bring it straight up. And then to do the I, I'll get another 4mm bead. We'll stick it on here. And that will be like the dot of the I. So put it how high you want it. Imagine where the top is and bend that out at a right angle, just so it will anchor the bead in place. Hold it with your fingers, bring this one around. So that's going to hold that bead in place. And then you can, with your pliers or with your fingernail, just bend it down at an angle there. Hold this in place, bring it down behind the I, and get your looping pliers again and bring that one around. So now to do the J, it'll be the same idea. So put a little bit of distance between the two letters. Use the larger part of your looping pliers if you want more space, or use a pen. And then we need another little bead. So I'll get the royal blue, 4mm miracle bead. We'll bend this at the same position as with the I. Could be a little lower if you want to. And we're just going to stick that there, hold it in place, bring that around back, and then down if you have a fingernail. If not, use your pliers. Bend that down. And then we want to form the rest of the J. Get the looping pliers or some round pliers and just bring this one around, and that'll be the J. And then we're just going to bend it across, and then to form the K, we'll bring it up. And because there's no real like areas to fill in the K, we can do it the same way as with the H. I'm just winging it here. So we're going to bring this one around, put another 4mm miracle bead, and we're just going to bring this one to the back, hold it in place, bend this one to the back around here, and then bend it up at an angle. I'll link up the playlist of other letter and name tutorials below so you can get more instructions. So this is the top part of the K, and then down here, just that to make it more vertical if you want. Bring that one down. And then the L would be very similar. We're just gonna bring this one up. We'll do it in the same way where we just make the loop like this. Just bring that one across. Get another bead. We'll use the 4mm red miracle bead. Hold it in place and then bring this one to the front. And then just bend that to the right there. And there we have H, I, J, K, L with the little bead accents. So the M and the N are tricky too, so we're just going to take this one and bring it up, and then I want to bend this one out to the left. I'll just put a 4mm cat's eye on there. We'll stick that one on there, and then I'm just going to hold this in place, bend the wire to the back, like all the way around behind the bead, bring it back up, and then I'm going to form the loops for the M. So we'll just get our round pliers, stick them in here, and then bring this one around. If you need the loop bigger, just get your looping pliers and bring it down, and then you're going to bend this one to the front or back, whichever you prefer. Just bend it, give it a good crease, and then with the looping pliers again, bring it down. Make sure it's about the same height. You might have to bring it up and down a little bit, and then we're just going to bring that one across. So that's the M, really stylized. Bend that down a bit, and then to do the next letter, you could use a bigger loop if you want more space in between them. Bend it a little more there, and then the same thing, we're going to make the N, so we're just going to bend this back on an angle, put your 4mm bead on there, hold this, bend it to the back, push it with your finger, bring that around so it comes up here, and then we're going to want a bigger loop there. So get your looping pliers. You can start it at a smaller area and then work your way down. Bring this one down, and then we have what looks like an N. And then we're going to bring this one across. You have to make that a little higher, just bend it out a little more, straighten that there. So there is the N. And then to do the O, we're going to go back to how we did the A and some of the other letters. We're just going to take this one, bend it up where you want the center of the bead to be. Put on the 8mm bead. This one's going to end up being a little smaller than those letters. You're just going to tweak this as you go, and we're going to bring this one around to the front, around, surround the bead, and around here. These are similar to my Tip Tuesday tutorial last week, where I made very simple dangly bead earrings with wire wrapped beads. So there's the O. Little small compared to those ones, but it's okay just for the sake of the sample. And then from here we're going to bend this up to make the P. So bring this up and then bend this one towards the front. Bend this part for the tail around to the back. Bend that one across, and then at the radius of the bead we're just going to bend that one up we'll put on our cat's eye bead, the 8mm, so that'll sit in there. And then we want to bring this one to the front, around, and then to the back, and hope we don't run out of wire. But this is just for the sample, so it's okay. There's a little end of the wire there. Pretend it's still going further along. And then this one, you can kind of tuck under there. Squish it together a bit. And there you have MNOP. So the Q is similar to the P, just sort of opposite. So just take this and push it up at a right angle. I'm going to use an 8mm hematite bead. So we're going to stick that one on here. And we're just going to go around to the front, surround the bead again, all the way around, and then to the back. So we're behind that wire, all the way around and up. There we have the bead surrounded, back and front. And then we're going to take the round pliers, bring this straight down over those wires, straight down. Now to make the Q, we want to bend the bottom at a bit of a sharp angle, just to differentiate it from some of the other letters. So we're just going to hold this with the flat pliers, bend it out at a sharp little angle there, just to kind of represent the Q. And then we're just going to bring this one in, so it just comes a little bit at an angle, and then hold this at the baseline and bring that one out here. So that would be the Q. Push it in a bit if you have to. And then for the R, we're going to bring this one up. And for the R, I'm just going to stick on a 4mm bead, slide it on there. And then I'm just going to hold that in place, bring this one around, just around here. This you could definitely experiment with. And then I'm just going to, rather than put two beads, it might look a little funny. So I'm just going to take this one, bend it to the back a little bit, and then just bend that one down like that. So it doesn't really look like an R, but it's kind of cute. And then we're going to bring this one across here. And then we're just going to bring this one up to start to form the S. So I think the S could be cute with a big bead in there. We're going to try it. So we're going to bend this one a little above where the bead would be. Bend this to the front. Give that a little tweak. And then hold this, bend it out, and then around here. So this is how I would normally do an S. So let's see what it looks like if we try to put a bead in there. So we're going to just bend this one straight up. This is where I throw caution to the wind and just try something different. So we're just going to stick a 6mm bead on there so it'll fit inside the S. And from there, we need to bring it back that way. So let's go to the left, bring it that way, just bend it to the left, and then bring it back around here. If it gets a little distorted, just push it back. And that looks super funky. I love it. Then we're going to do the T. So we're going to bring this one up. Now the T, there's not really much place you can put a bead. So let's just put one at the top. We're just going to get a 4mm bead. We're just going to stick it here. Imagine we want the top of the T to be, say, about there. It's easier if you start the bend with your pliers, so just bend that to the back. Push the bead back, and then just bend this around so it comes behind that bead. And then what we want to do is we want to bring it right in there. So I'm just going to push it with my nail a little bit, just so it does hug that bead. And then I'm going to take the needle nose pliers and bend this to the left. So it's just, I'm holding it behind the bead, bent to the left, and I want to bend it around to the front. So I'm just going to flip it so I can access it. I'm going to hold this with the pliers and then bend it around to the front, and then bend this to the back. So we've surrounded that wire, you know, to the front, to the back, and then just hold it here at the back and push it straight down. So it's going back behind that original wire. So there it is. And then just adjust it a little bit if you have to, and then bend that one out to the right. Looks a little funny, but it's got a bead in it. That's what we want. So the U we can do like the C if we want to have the wire kind of hug the bead. So let's try it. We're going to bend this one up here, and then I'm going to just take this wire and bend it to the front. Okay, so we're just going to bend it around to the front, and then I'm just going to bend this one around. Use the looping pliers if you need, just to form the U. So this would be the U. Now the trick is to know where to put that bead. So if we bring this one back down, it's going to bring it back this way. Bring that straight up. We're going to stick a 8mm cat's eye bead, so that just kind of sits in there. And then we can take this one and bring it to the right behind the bead and around here. So it does sit in there and you could still see the U. So now we're going to try the V. V is definitely going to be really tricky. So we're just going to bend that one to the left. And then I'm going to bend this one straight across and down. I'm going to form the V first and see what happens. And then we're just going to bend this one up on an angle. So we have what looks like a V. We can always try where we just bend this to the right, stick a little bead in there, and we're just going to bend it around and around. And we could either keep going down here, or we can just bring this up to form the W. So to form the W, I'll just bring this one down this way. Just start it up there. So you could do sharp bends like that, or you could use your round pliers and do a more soft bend. If you want to just do kind of a little loopy thing to form the W, you could bring it down here and then bring this one up here, adjust it a bit if you have to. If you guys succeed in adding the beads in a way that the letters are more visible, please by all means share them with me. I could share them in the community section so other people can get inspired. Have a look at what it looks like that, but I'm going to bend it back and try to add a bead in the middle part of the W. I think that could be really cute. So let's go ahead, pull it back a little bit. I'm going to get the same bead so we can see what it looks like with that same size bead. Hold it around there and then just bend this around. Bend it around like that. So we'll see how it looks with the bead in the center of the W. We'll just take this one and bend it up and then bend that one across. So you have options with these. It's kind of cute with that bead in the middle. I don't mind it. And then to do the X, we could just bring this one down here. I'm going to bend this one down, and then I'm just going to bend this one straight up so it starts to look like an X. We can add a bead in there if we want to. And then I'm just going to take this one, bend it back behind the bead, and then we're just going to bend that one that way. So looks a little bit like an X. Actually looks pretty good. And then we're just going to bend this one around here. So there we have U, V, W, X. So now we could do the Y in the same way we did the U. We're going to bring this one up, bend this one to the front, form the loop with the round pliers. You could use the end of a pen if you want. If you have to adjust it, just get some smaller pliers and wiggle it around a little bit. And then we're just going to bend this one back, bend this one around behind. It's like we did the U, and then bend this up in the center of the Y. From there we can just get a 8mm bead, stick it right in there, bring it over to the right a little bit, push it down so it comes along behind that side. Squeeze these in if you have to. Straighten this out a little bit if you need to. And then we're just going to form the tail of the Y. So that one comes around there, looks like the Y, and we're going to bring this across, and we want to form the Z. So for the Z, we're just going to bring that one up. We're just going to form a little loop to make a stylized Z, and then we're just going to take this one, bend it to the front, see how it looks at the side, and then just take your round pliers, bring it down, and that's the beginning part of the Z. And then we're going to bring this one here, or Z they say in the States, and we're going to bend that one across, and let's just put a little bead there. Here's our 4mm miracle bead. We'll just stick it on there, and then we're just going to hold it in place, bring this one up so it completes the loop, bend that one across, and there you have your Y and your Z. So here's all the letters. Definitely a work in progress. Some of them work well with the larger beads, some work well with the medium beads, and a lot of them you can just add little 4mm beads as accents. So thanks so much for watching the video. Give it a big thumbs up if you liked it. Be sure to subscribe to my channel for lots more wire art and jewelry making videos. Hit the notification bell to be notified when I go live and when I post new videos. And if you'd like to share photos of your wire art and jewelry, be sure to join the Wire Makers Club on Facebook. And if you'd like to check out my work on Etsy, my husband and I specialize in custom wedding cake toppers and funky jewelry. I also have a mailing list, so if you'd like to sign up below, I'll send you my Wire Art Essentials ebook. So thanks again for watching, and we'll see you the next time.